All right, let's dive into this Eagles final drive. I know there's so much going on with terrible play calls, too simple, all of this. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say, when you get into a 2-minute drive or a final drive, one thing that often happens anyways is that you go to more simplified routes. It's not complex, okay? We've got, in most of the situations I was in, I had 10 plays, 10 2-minute plays that we would run. And they were really good plays, really good concepts, but they weren't overly complicated. We weren't doing crazy formations and motions. We were lining up in 2x2 or 3x1, and we were running these plays. So to come out and say, oh, this 2-minute drill, man, why didn't they get more complicated? It's all about getting guys open, doing things that your team and your quarterback are comfortable with. So I just want to go through these plays because it's so easy to just go, well, it didn't work, so we should have done something different. Okay? So here we've got a double seam combination, one of their favorite combinations. Seams on the inside, stops on the outside. You get quarters coverage. I always say, against quarters coverage, don't worry about the seams on the inside. That's for cover 3, that's for cover 2. Cover 4, get outside to your one-on-one stop on either side. Go find your stop route to the outside. Okay, so you see, this is where you're going to go here, stop over here, stop over here. Now, they push through it here on the bottom, which is another thing that I always like to talk about details. Okay, so if I'm throwing a seam route here, I've got to beat the safety with my seam route. So what I would always teach on seams is that I want these guys, if they know they've got a too high look, two safeties. If I know they've got a too high look, I want them to seam inside instead of going outside. Seam inside because we're trying to get leverage to beat these safeties across their face. Okay, so that's the real thing that we're trying to do on seam is we're trying to get across the safety's face so we give the quarterback an opportunity to throw it. That's part A. There's a part B to this when we're seeing quarters coverage. These guys here have to play match coverage. So they match the inside guy, and then their responsibility is, depending on how it all plays out, to push all the way to the sideline. If I seam with my number 2 guy, instead of going around him, if I seam at him right here. Okay? One of two things happens. Either A, I beat this guy inside, which gives me leverage and an opportunity to beat this safety, or B, this guy starts to slow play and jam me and try to force me to go outside, and if he does that, then he's never going to get out underneath the stop route. So it benefits me in one of two ways. So if Jalen Hurts was going to go, okay, so the middle linebacker matches to the back. So he matches to the back. Now I want to go away from that if I'm going to read inside out. Okay, so if I'm seam releasing and I feel like my guy can beat the safety, I'm going to work this backer to the top. And now I am going to go 1. So if this guy is buzzed hard outside, now I've got to throw because I've gotten leverage with that seam release and I've cleared this guy out or verified that he's going the other direction. I got a chance to drive that throw. If I come back there and this defender, this linebacker is walling him off and staying there, perfect. I'm going to work right outside to my stop route and I've got everything I want. But by going outside of those guys, right? See how far outside these guys are of the safeties? So now, if I want to try to make one of those throws, I got to try to jam it in there. I got bad leverage with the safeties, and these guys have to flatten, and I got to make the perfect throw and all that garbage. Seam release. Seam release. Beat the safety with your seam release. Seam release. Hold the outside linebacker with your seam release, and now we're opening somebody up with the details of our routes. And again, this is not directed at the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, we get down to our check down here. And we get a completion. And what I mean by that is every team in the league, I shouldn't say every team, most teams in the league run it just like that. I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't teach those details. I don't know why that doesn't help them. Just like I'm talking about, I don't know a negative to doing that, but very few teams teach it. A lot of guys try to jam it into the inside guy instead of going right out to their stops. I don't understand it, and I don't think it's the best way to do things. Okay, but still, it's a good play. Everybody runs it. All good. Okay, so now we're going to come back with a Hank combination down here. Okay, so it's curl flat. with an OTB over the ball and a double slant over here. Okay, so he's got his option. Both really good concepts. I like both concepts. Now, to me, in a 2-minute drill, if I've got one defender over there to that side, I'm working my double slants. Okay, I'm working the double slant. So look at it up top. Boom, throw the outside slant. Huge play, easy. These guys are off. You get 2-on-1 over there. I would go to that side. Doesn't have to, because this is good too. He clamps there. We get a high-low off of that guy, and inside-out off of that guy. No problem. Okay, so another good concept where guys are getting open. I'd love to see him take a little bit more time to try to get this curl behind it, but I understand it. This guy got depth. That's probably the right read. In 2 minutes, I'd like to try to force the curl because I can always be late to a flat. If this guy wants to continue to hold it off, I can be late to a flat, and I'm not worried about anybody being late there, so I'm going to give the curl every opportunity. But nothing wrong with this. I would just go to the top. But you see, guys are open all over the place. Not a bad concept, not a bad play in a 2-minute drill. All right, now they're going to come back. Where's my back? Back's got to step up. So probably going to run something similar over here. It looks like a corner route. And here, probably this and a wide. So it's kind of a curl combination there. And then they run the wrap combination down here. They get pressure right here on the inside. Okay, good. I love the wrap combination. It's great. Got my best receiver there. Got what we want. Got a guy wide open in the middle of the field against man-to-man. They brought the pressure. Middle of the field's open. Got to make the catch. Okay? Got to make the catch. Good read, good throw, good options on this particular play. Changing it up, doing some different things. Okay, now we're going with an empty set. This was their 4th down situation where they had to convert. Okay, they're hoping to get man-to-man. Looks like pressure. Not sure what they're going to do with pressure, but they're running the mesh combination right here, hoping to get man and somebody to separate. Then they're running the cross over the top. Got a go route here with A.J. Brown, which is an option against press coverage. So you got a lot of options right here. They pop out, even though they're playing man coverage. These two guys popping out really mess up the mesh. But great job and great find to the second level on the crosser to Goddard. Good throw. All right, we're moving the chains. Big play on that drive. And he finds it and makes a nice throw. So again, not always a fan of mesh because if you don't get man, guys pop out like that. You don't have a lot of great options. They found a good one there. I like the fact that they didn't put an OTB where he was stopping over the ball, that he kept going and running the crosser and to separate. I like that because now it gives you some options on the backside to kind of read go, to cross or over, and then to the shallow that's coming. So it would give you an option against zone as well. Okay, we come back to the 2x2. Okay, we're running another form of mesh. Okay, so here we're going to run a chase inside out. So it's a great option if you get man coverage. Okay, you got a tight end that you like him against man-to-man, so we're going to have that option. Then we're going to run the mesh, okay, which is good. So if I get man-to-man, I can read the backside corner, and then I can work to this mesh shallow that's coming in my direction. If I get zone, we're going to have a big in with a shallow and then a swing. So I'm going to get a nice triangle to that side, but more importantly, I'm going to have a high-low over here to this side. Okay, so I like the option there. I got man and zone. Okay, so they go zone here, but for some reason he stays down here and this guy gets outside, Devontae gets outside the linebacker and it works. If I go to the front side, I got what I want. I got a high-low right here. This guy's staying down. I'm going to have a great throw to the big end. Right there, you see the big window? We got that if we want it. Okay, so again, changing it up. Different plays, some different options. I like most of the options and the fact that they're giving the quarterback some things to do against man and against zone. Get that completed. We get the out of bounds. All good right there. Okay, so now we come back with a play that I call popping on the front side. So it looks like Dallas Goedert's going to run it in here. We're going to run a pop, and we're going to run a flat. So I like this play, especially against a team that's playing quarters or a cover 3, where they've got 2 underneath guys to that side. Okay, so we get options. Okay, we come back and we read. Okay, we're going to read this guy first. Okay, so if he holds inside and takes away the in route, Perfect. Now I'm going to have a hook flat against the other backer. If the inside backer pushes right now to the hook, now I just recover right over the top to the in route. Okay, the inside backer, you read him. Okay, he stays inside. He turns inside. Perfect. I got a 2-on-1 on the outside. Good concept. Not really sure what they're doing back here. We've got a hook here, and then they run a 7 stop. So they kind of stack each other on the backside. So I'm not sure what that concept is and what they're trying to do, but no worries. We got what we want front side against the coverages that normally San Francisco is going to run in this situation, a quarters coverage or possibly a cover 3 rotation like they're doing here. And we're getting what we want. Boom. Easy completion. Man, we're able to even turn that up. Normally that's a bang, bang play. We catch it. We turn it up. We get down to the 20-yard line. Okay, so we come back with a combination of a couple other plays. Okay, so here we're going to run popcorn. So we're going to have a corner, we're going to have the pop, and we're going to have a flat. So that's going to come off of what we just did. Now I don't like the corner part of it because this guy's going to be back there to cover the corner. They still have the 2 underneath linebackers that can cover the pop to that side. So I'm not a big fan, not as big a fan of popcorn because the corner is really against man. I'd rather have the pop in play because now we overload them to that side and we're going to have a throw. If my quarterback goes to that side, which Jalen does here, if he goes to that side, okay, see, here, like he might have still had a throw, probably still has the flat if he wants it with this depth, but you see the idea. This guy has the ability to cover that. This guy has the ability to cover that. This guy is always going to cover a corner. So I'd like the in there because now he just saw it. He goes and matches to the pop, and now I got to throw back behind it. But, okay, that's a whole different play, and it's a reason why I don't like popcorn and people running it like that. But, once again, what am I going to tell you? I got one underneath backer to the backside, and they put a double slant on this again. Go to the double slant, right? Take the double slant. It's an easy play. It's a play where those guys are running away, and you've got a great option to that side. But I like both combinations. But there it is. There's the outside slant again. There's the throw. Boom. Easy completion. Maybe he gets a chance to turn up. Who knows what happens? And again, I'm not mad at this down here. It's not a bad combination. You just got to be ready if you're Jalen. You got to come out and read this. You got your flat. You got your hook. If you're putting it on him right now, you got options. He's hesitant here. But to me, I'm going up to the top. But again, you see, guys open. I like the concepts. They're good, solid concepts. The other thing that I always teach is details. I would also like Dallas Goedert to seam inside. I don't care if he's running pop-in or popcorn. I want him to seam inside. Why do you want him to seam inside, Kurt? Well, because if he seams inside, this guy now has to wonder what he's doing. So now we slow that guy down and we open up this pop flat off of the outside linebacker that's out there, but we hold off the inside linebacker and we don't let him just run to us. When we straight vertical or outside release here, this guy's not threatened and he can easily push and make that pop route a little more dicey if I'm not on time. So now we're going to go with the double slant once again. Double slant. Okay. Then we're going to go with the hook here. And I think the stop route out there, the check down. Okay. So if you get a corner off look up top, you can read that because you're going to have 3-on-2. Or like we've been talking about, you get double slant. You got one underneath backer to the backside. Read the double slant. That's what he does right here. So he reads the double slant. You always got to be thinking outside slants, quarterback. Always thinking outside slants first. There it is. Corner off. Take it. Take it. All right? Take it right there. There's your throw. There's another completion right there. He's looking inside. Why are we looking inside first? Okay? Again, this is just, to me, this is football 101. I understand it's technically an inside-out read, but what we know is this guy's responsibility is usually to jam and hold off the inside for that slant. So I'm going to come out and read that defender. If that defender does not go flying out to take away the outside slant, I'm throwing the outside slant. If he goes and buzzes hard right now, then I'm going to react to the inside. But we can't just think we're going to throw it to the inside guy most of the time because this guy's sitting in there. It's the other thing. I've talked about it a million times. I hate when we push the inside slant up and so the timing is the same as the outside slant. So watch this. Okay, watch the inside slant, 3 steps. Look at this. So the quarterback doesn't really have a read yet because they're both breaking at the same time. So I want to be throwing this football right now, but I can't because I got to see what that linebacker does, and I got to see Dallas Goedert get past him to really see what he does. So it messes up all the timing, and it makes this tighter. See how much tighter it is right there that, Devontae Smith is just outside that linebacker, and it makes it a little more dicey. Kurt, so what would you do? What would I do? I'm going to take a one-step slant and go. And then this guy is going to run his three-step slant because if I take a one-step slant, Jalen has the ability to read this guy and see what he does before he has to throw the outside slant. And if Dallas Goedert takes one step and goes inside, he's going to create more separation between that linebacker and the outside slant. Pushing vertical allows them to tighten that window and make it a little dicier right there. One step, go. Why are we pushing up? Why are we asking the quarterback to throw two routes at exactly the same time and without being able to give him a read? A one step allows this to happen sooner, allows him to get a read, and allows him to be on time to the outside one. But regardless, this is how they run it. There's the outside slant. You get back, you hit the back foot, and you are ready to rip that unless this guy goes flying, and then you quickly recover inside to the inside slant for a big play. Okay, if you're going the other direction, okay, you read this defender right here, okay, and so if he buzzes hard outside under AJ, then you work right in here to the hook. He stays tucked in on the hook, you go right out here to your stop route there. And we've got options once again on this play. Say what you want, basic, simple, doesn't matter. You got options. You got options either way. No matter what they do, you have your double slants or you have your comeback or stop and hook to the front side with your back going to that side because we got numbers over there as well. We've got options on this particular play. We just didn't execute them. Takes us to third down. Okay. I'm not fully sure this concept right here. So there's a concept that I heard somebody call Big Mac once. So it's a hook over the ball, it's a flat, and then this guy runs a quick post route, quick slant route from there. So that's what this play looks like, okay? And so as we come out, I like it, okay? We get the inside backer to hold. Okay, now I'm going to go to the flat and read the flat defender. We get this guy to get depth, and then we take this angle. And we got a shot right here at this, if that's what it is. Now, I'd love Devontae to be flatter here. And again, I don't know this concept, so I'm not really sure. But I would love for him to be flatter here. Boom. Is stick that and come flat. Don't get up into either one of these guys. Just go flat, and I'll stick it on you. I got the Mike linebacker to jump, and I'll stick it on you. Could easily take the flat here with the soft coverage as well, but I'm not mad at this throw. I just don't know exactly what the route is. Maybe not quite as deep and a little bit flatter here, but regardless, we get what we want. There we have the post. We just got to make this play. Whether it's catching it or making a better throw or whatever, we just got to make this play. Okay? And then there's a body there too, which I hate. Not that he was going to catch it anyways, but I'm not really sure what they're trying to do here with all of this. Unless it's like, hey, if we can get the front side safety to jump it, we're going to bring this guy over here. But I'm not really sure what that route is on the backside. But I guess not here nor there right now because we're trying to get the front side read. We got a shot. We just don't execute. Again, another different play on this particular drive. And then we come to, this is the last play. Okay, we come to the last play. Now, so this is the final drive. I heard people say, oh my gosh, it's the same routes over and over again. It's not the same routes over and over again. Yes, there's elements of the same routes. A couple times we have popcorn and pop in. A couple times we have slants. Okay, again, 2-minute drill. You're going to run some of the same plays over and over again. Good plays, guys open, all about executing. Okay, so now we're going to run all go. So that's the first thing that I hate is that normally when you run double seam, okay, these outside guys that are running stops will convert to go routes against like a cover two, a rolled corner to their side. Okay, so I don't know why you would call all go in this particular situation. It's 3rd and whatever, 10 situation. Why you would call all go? Because what I expect is I expect soft coverage by these corners. So to run and throw a go route against soft coverage in a 3rd and 10 situation just makes no sense to me. So why would I not just put them on stops and say, okay, if I get soft coverage on the outside, I can complete a stop out there and get the first down. So it gives me an option to get the first down. If they roll to cover 2, great. He turns it into a go anyway, so it becomes all go, and it gives me the options that I want from there. But why not put stops there, first of all, okay? Because we're going to run the double seam combination again, okay? So it's the seam's right here, but now we're running goes on the outside, which again, don't like. Because if I don't like a go route and I'm not going to just throw it up right now, I'm stuck having to read these inside seams against quarters coverage, which I told you earlier I don't like against quarters coverage. And so I'm forced to throw one of them because I'm not throwing the go route. So we get cover 4. Okay, we get cover 4. And this is what we get. Okay, it's tough, it's hard, the timing is tough. Now look, if we were to do this and we would get, he's looking to this side, he'd have a one-on-one over here on a stop route to A.J. Brown, which they've hit 1,000,000 times. Love it. Love the option right there. We would have it on the bottom as well. But again, the seam route, okay? Let's seam it here. Let's seam it here and try to get a better opportunity to beat the safety. So when I run straight up the field, look how flat he's got to come, and look at how tight the window is. I mean, lots of things happening right there. Okay, what's another option that we could run? Okay, so you want to work the seams. Okay, let's work one seam. Let's have a stop over there that would convert if we get cover 2. On the other side, let's have a seam, but then let's run an in route here and put the back underneath to try to pull down anybody that's to the inside. So now I get my seam possible throws, which is what you really are calling this for, obviously, unless you get a press go on the outside. But I get my seam opportunities inside, but I also have 2 other options to pick up the first down. What the problem is for me with this play, and again, this isn't just the Eagles. I see a whole bunch of teams run all go as they get down inside the 20, inside the 10, because they don't know what else to call. So they call all go, and it's such a low percentage possibility of hitting this. So when we call this, we are stuck now. Are you going to throw a go route up against a bailing corner on both sides? Terrible option to pick up the first down. Terrible percentage and odds to complete that. So now you're stuck going inside on this particular play, and we only really have one option that we're going to win with. One of these options has to win for us to convert here. We can't look at the seam and then recover to a stop. We can't look at the seam and recover to an in back behind it if they cover it. We've got only one throw and one option, and everything has to be perfect, and there's a shot. But man, Jalen's got to see this. He's got to know exactly what's going to happen. He's got to know exactly the angle that Dallas is going to come out, and he's got to put the ball right on the money. He's got to anticipate because he's got to beat the backside. There are so many elements for this having to work to that one guy, right? Condense, condense, condense. Throw a stop. Throw a stop, okay? Throw an in, clear out here, all off of this guy, right? So now it's either throw the in. If this guy gets enough depth, it's Saquon Barkley on a little quick out route here, and he's got to catch it, and he's got to run to get the first down. But give yourself more than one option to pick up the most critical 4th down situation of the season.